This might be the most important video that I ever do. This video is called The Viral Theory. It does explain why videos go viral. It also explains why movements go viral. And I think it actually has some deep implications of just like how to live a better life, a more enjoyable, more fulfilling life. So let's dive into the viral theory and some of the 5 characteristics that it takes for something to go viral. We'll break it down and start at the top. It starts with belief. Believe. You got to believe in something. Now, I'm going to use a few examples for us to explore this topic right now, ones that you all should be familiar with. Believe. So the definition of believe is to hold something as an opinion, to think or suppose, to feel sure of the truth of. Now, let's use these 3 examples for us to break it down. The first one, Ice Bucket Challenge. Let's throw it back. This was a long time ago. So the Ice Bucket Challenge, I think the belief here is essentially saying, I believe that there are other people out there who also want to draw awareness to ALS and also want to raise money in hopes to, obviously find a cure, right? It's like, I believe that there are people out there. When you think about TikTok, right, I think a belief here is honestly like, I believe people out there, they want attention, right? They want to be fun. They want to be seen as good dancers. Maybe I believe that they're bored and they're just looking for something to do, especially when you think about TikTok dance is even doing a rise during the pandemic. Like, people are at home doing nothing. So it's kind of like, I believe other people are bored and they want to do something fun and connect with their friends, right? So that was maybe the core belief there at the core of it, right? Then a little bit more on a serious note, you got Colin Kaepernick, right? Colin Kaepernick, obviously he held something to be true, right? That he had the truth of, and that actually took him to make a huge statement and to take a knee. Every viral movement, every viral video, I do think taps into beliefs, right? You have this belief and you believe that other people also have that belief, right? It's kind of the foundation for it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Does it tap into something bigger than yourself, right? Into a core belief that also can be relatable to other people's beliefs. The second one is simplicity. All right, simplicity. So simplicity is very simple. It's just, is it easy to understand or do? Now, when you think about the Ice Bucket Challenge, it was, all right, I believe other people are out there and they want to bring awareness to ALS. So let me give them a simple way for them to identify themselves and raise awareness. What do? Just dump a bucket of ice over your head. That's pretty simple to do, right? You're going to watch that. We all watched the Ice Bucket Challenge and we weren't thinking, oh, how do I do that? Right? It's so easy. Anybody could do it. It doesn't need an explanation, right? Just participate. This is how you participate. It's very simple. TikTok dances, why did those spread so quickly? But I think the TikTok dances originally spread because they were easy to do. You didn't have to be an amazing dancer to actually know how to do it, right? It wasn't complicated choreography by any means. And since they were so short, it was like, oh, you just learn this very short dance and it will spread from there, right? I think that's a big reason why TikTok dances spread, is just because it was so simple. You could watch it and people be like, yeah, I can do that, right? For Colin, it's pretty simple, right? It's just take a knee during the national anthem. That's not complicated, right? It's pretty simple. And there's actually opportunities every Sunday, especially in the NFL, or every time there was an athlete that would, before the game started, there's typically a national anthem that was played in the U.S., and so everyone had a very easy opportunity actually to do something about it, because the national anthem was always played and it was very simple. Just during time, just take a knee, right? It was pretty simple. Anybody could participate. It wasn't hard to explain. The third is creativity, right? Now, people don't like being robots, right? The creativity here is the use of imagination or original ideas. So when you think about the Ice Bucket Challenge, it tapped into this belief, like, people want to raise awareness to ALS is a good cause. And it's simple, just dump a bucket of ice on your head. But people started to get creative with it, right? This is LeBron. He's like in the middle of an ocean on a boat, and he decides to dump ice, on his head there, right? He has some friends that are helping him do it, right? We saw a lot of different creative, original ideas of how the Ice Bucket Challenge was executed. And I think that actually created more excitement, because it was like, oh, that was creative. I got challenged by a friend. I'm going to try to be more creative than them. I'm going to dump a bucket of ice on my head with a tractor, right? Or I'm going to dump a bucket of ice on my head from a helicopter, right? We started to see this kind of snowball effect of creativity, right? Creativity breeding other creativity, right? So you don't just have to do it one way. You gave people a simple framework, but allowed them the creative freedom to execute within that simple framework, right? These TikTok dances, I'd say similarly, no one did the same choreography completely the same, right? It's the same simple moves, the same simple steps, but everyone's putting their own twist on it, yada, yada, yada. TikTok dances flourished because it allowed people within a simple framework to like one up each other and be creative. And then what they do, well, in that simple TikTok dance framework, people were then going and actually creating their own dances, right? And so you have all these different dances being created, right? Creativity breeding other creativity within a simple framework of just posting it on TikTok, right? Pretty simple. Last one is going to be the creativity for kneeling. It wasn't just the NFL, right? We actually saw other sports, other athletes, right? This is the U.S. women's national team, sparked probably by Megan Rapinoe taking a knee. The rest of her team also joined her in taking a knee. And so it almost got creative in the sense of, well, it's a simple thing to take a knee during the anthem, but you could do it from other sports, right? It kind of started to transcend and allow people to maybe do it in their own creative way, right? So again, things are spreading because it taps into this belief, right? I think other people believe the same thing as me. They also want to do something about this cause, raise awareness. I've given them a simple framework to do it, to participate, but also I've given them creative freedom so that they can do it in their own unique way, their own original way. The fourth is going to be vulnerability, right? Vulnerability. Now, the definition of vulnerability is to be exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed. Every time I feel like we actually post something on social media, even I'm doing it right now, me like sharing this video, putting it out there for the world to see is an act of vulnerability, I say. Every single time we post on Instagram or TikTok, whatever, post a YouTube video, I'd argue that we are opening ourselves up to criticism, to attack, to the comments, to the haters. And there's a piece of us inside that every time we do it, we feel a little scared, right? We feel a little nervous. Like, how is this going to go? I'm being vulnerable here. Colin, right? He definitely opened himself up to criticism. I mean, his job literally was, he still to this day is not playing. It's been like 7 years. And he, look at this quote, "I don't want him anywhere near my team. He's a traitor." That was like an NFL executive on Colin Kaepernick. Was Kaepernick vulnerable and taking a knee? For sure. Did he have any idea what was going to happen? Probably not. But it definitely took an act of vulnerability for him to do it. Now, I think in viral movements, though, in videos, like part of being human is we actually like vulnerability. We're actually encouraged by vulnerability. When we see someone be vulnerable, it's inspiring, actually. And so I think that's also why it's a key component of like we need people being willing to put themselves out there and be vulnerable for ideas or things to spread, right? Or for movements to spark. Now, the last one is just taking action, right? Just taking action. And this is a thing done or an act, right? Now, we might see someone else's vulnerability, and oftentimes someone else's vulnerability actually encourages us to take action, right? To act. And if you look here at the map at the bottom left, that's going to be that's a map of the Ice Bucket Challenge and how quickly it spread. I guess it started in the Northeast, and this is actually a map from Facebook or Meta now that it was like showing where the videos were posted and actually like traced it. And so you could see it just like spreading, honestly, like wildfire. There's another map that I won't show because it was too big, but it literally spread to the entire world, right? So many people were participating in it. Essentially, I think some person's vulnerability actually breeds other people's vulnerability, right? And there you took action, so you encourage me to take action as well, right? TikTok, same thing, right? People were willing to put themselves out there, and then they're watching it, seeing almost someone dance back. Oh, I could do that. I'm going to take action too. And then they go and take action. Obviously, Colin Kaepernick, he sparked a lot of action, a whole entire movement. So these are the 5 characteristics that are part of the viral theory. This is the 5 things that essentially explain why something goes viral. It taps into a belief, right? You hold something to be true, and you also believe that there are other people out there who also share that same belief. You give them a very simple way for them to identify themselves, right? For them to participate, whether it's dump a bucket of ice on your head, right? Do this simple dance, right? Take a knee. You give them a simple framework for them to say, hey, I also believe that too. But you're also giving them a way to do it in in a creative or original way to where they can see the simple framework but also put their own unique twist on it so that they make it original to themselves, right? All right, it's simple enough. They know how they're going to do it, and then they actually have to post, right? They have to be vulnerable enough to actually participate. They actually have to show up, right? They have to click the button and put it out there for the world to see and ultimately be criticized of sorts. And that's, but it doesn't happen if they don't take the moment of vulnerability and do it. And when that moment of vulnerability happens and they share it, oftentimes it actually is inspiring for others who then actually want to take action themselves because they also believe in it, right? And they think about it like, yeah, if this is something that I believe, I'm willing to, put myself out there and actually do the thing. So, right, these are the 5. And in summary, these are the 5 things that make a video go viral, a movement go viral, like a dance challenge go viral, right, etc. That's kind of the 5 characteristics that make something go viral. Now, this is where though it gets profound. Is I think why things really go viral is because it taps into our design. I wouldn't be sharing this if I didn't think it had like major impact on like just our individual life and like fulfillment. You could definitely use these things for like business purposes or marketing purposes, which I actually have done. But I just want to talk about this, at least how it has impacted my life. So I think for me, when I really reflect on this, like how I'm doing, if I'm doing good or I'm doing bad, if I feel like I'm thriving, if I feel like I'm surviving, I think that has to do with just calibrating these 5 things. Do I believe in a vision, right? I think all of us were designed to believe in a vision, right? When you close your eyes and you think about your life, you see yourself, living a certain way. What is that vision? What is your purpose? What is your mission, right? What is your life about? If you have that vision and you believe in it, then just keep it simple, right? Keep the main thing the main thing. One thing that's great about having a vision is if you're trying to decide if I should do this thing or if I should do that thing, you should probably hold it up to your vision. Your vision is a filter. If that thing is going to help you get closer to achieving your vision, then yeah, you should do it. But if that thing is not in line with your vision and it's going to take you in a different direction, then you probably shouldn't do it. But sometimes I think we get caught up in overcomplicating things. We don't keep the main thing the main thing. We aren't staying the course, right? And we're doing things that are taking them off the path, right? So, but I think we were designed to keep it simple, but you can't keep it simple if you don't know where you're going, right? What the vision is. The third one is creative. To be creative. I genuinely believe that all of us are creative in our own ways, right? We might not be like an artist in the traditional sense, with maybe a paintbrush or graphic design or graffiti, etc., or maybe an artist like being a barber, hairdresser, hairstylist. But I do think you can be creative with your words. I think engineers are very creative. I think teachers have to be extremely creative. I think all of us are designed with our own unique stories, our own unique strengths. Everybody is unique, right? Everybody's, again, as a barber, like everybody's even head shape is different, right? No one person is the same, which I think is cool because we all are designed with our own unique gifts and abilities and talents. And I think we were designed to live those out and to be ourselves and to not try to be the person next to us. When we get caught up in comparing ourselves or trying to be somebody else, that's where, comparison is a thief of joy, right? We get robbed of it. The fourth, vulnerability. I think we were designed to be vulnerable. I think we were designed to share that story that scares us, right? I think especially in community and relationships, they're vulnerable, right? We are going to say something and be a little scared of like, all right, I have to be vulnerable for the people in my life to actually know what's going on. I think we were designed that way. We were designed for vulnerability. We were designed to be able to share something with someone, but actually know it's going to be in like a safe environment and to not be judged or to not feel shame, right? And then the last one is take action. I think we were designed to inspire others to take action. I think, so there's a old quote, it's like about letting your light shine, right? When you let your light shine, you give others the permission for their light to shine. I think being vulnerable in a large way is shining a light, right? It's shining a light maybe on something that is going on in our life that maybe even feels dark. But when we shine a light on it, we actually encourage others to also shine a light as well, and to take action and to share their story, or to reply or to respond. And I think, right, this is where I think our design, or who we are just as humans, like, I think it's a way for me to actually understand, like, how am I doing, right? Like, when I think about these questions just as like a reflection, I actually ask myself these questions a lot. Like, what is my purpose, right? Am I living out in my purpose? Am I living out my vision or my mission? Am I keeping it simple, or am I overcomplicating things, right? Am I living my life, or am I trying to live somebody else's life? Or am I trying to live the life that somebody told me I'm supposed to live, right? Am I living out my gifts? Am I getting a chance to do my talents, right? Do the things that I bring to the table, am I able to do that? Some people quit their jobs because they just don't feel like they're able to do what their strengths are, right? They're like, I can do more than this. I think that has to do with we're not in an environment for us to be creative. Do people know you, right? Vulnerability. Do people actually know you? Do they actually, know you on a deep level, or just a surface level? Do they know what's going on under the surface, right? When was the last time you talked to somebody and actually told them really what was going on? I think sometimes for me, I might not feel like my life is thriving because I can't remember the last time I actually really opened up to share what's going on in my life, right? Last one is walking your talk, right? Like, all right, am I talking about it, or am I being about it, right? We respect the people who actually, do the thing, right? The ones that are doing the thing, and the ones that are doing the thing inspire others to do the thing as well, right? We see others and we're inspired by their example, by their model. And it's just like, am I walking my talk? And that will inspire others to do the same. In a lot of ways, the cliff notes here is like, I believe everyone was designed to go viral in some way. I don't know if it will be viral in the sense of, a viral video or dance, but I think we were designed to go viral within our own communities. We were designed to believe in something bigger than ourselves, and to keep it simple and aligned with that vision, to live out our creative gifts, to live in a community, vulnerable community. And as we even share stories and about what's going on in our life, I think that inspires others to do the same, to take action themselves. And I think that we were designed to have a viral effect of sorts, right? And again, it might not be on a big scale, but we all interact with many people and we leave an impact. Viral, it might make you think of virus, which, not to bring up the pandemic, but just at a overview of it, like, a virus is something that spreads, right, from person to person. And I think it, in a sense of all of us have an opportunity to impact others around us, whether that's in a virus in a bad way, or maybe an antivirus of sorts, or maybe in a good way that something spreads. And I think we all can have impact on people. And in that sense, I think we were all designed to live a viral life. So, I mean, you could use it in a lot of different ways to make sense out of why things go viral. I think it's difficult to actually manufacture something that goes viral. I think it does need to be very genuine, right? We live in a world where we can smell people who are trying to get views. And so I think that in that sense, it can be difficult to predict something that goes viral. But when we see something actually going viral, I always look at it and analyze it from the lens of the viral theory, really, just to see if it checks out. And honestly, most of the time it does. When you think about it for barbering, let's break that down on why some hair cutting systems actually go viral of sorts. One of them right now is, I think, like a 1/2 guard, 1.5 guard fading technique. It's very simple, right? 1/2 guard and 1.5 guard. Still obviously gives people a way to be creative, to do the fading technique in their own way, right? That person who had to post it had to be vulnerable enough to actually share their process or formula. And then in doing that, right, you inspire others maybe to then take action and do the haircutting fading technique, or they actually might be inspired to share their own process on how they do it. You can see Vic Blends. He's another example of that. What did Vic do? He believed that, there are people strangers out there who would be down to get a haircut by him. What did he do? It was very simple. He just walked up and said, hey, I'm a barber. Can I give you a haircut? Every single time he posted, it was creative because everyone's story was different. And so it allowed, just people just to share. I think the content, right? The conversation itself was highlighting people's uniqueness and their stories. So not everyone is the same. Vulnerable, obviously, for Vic to put himself out there and literally hold a sign and say, hey, I want to give you a haircut. With a lot of people don't know who he is. So he is legitimately a stranger, right? He's been rejected before. He's opening himself up to criticism and critique. So I argue he's being vulnerable. What do you do, man? Vic Blends has inspired so much action. He's inspired other people now to go out and do the free haircut from across the world. I just saw another famous barber who cuts a lot of famous soccer players, football players in England. He just did it, and so I think, right, Vic in the beginning I think was getting a lot of haters, but he really believed. Vic is definitely driven by conviction and strong belief that he has a bigger purpose, and so I'd say he definitely is living a viral life in that sense. Again, we could think about this in a lot of different ways, from viral, like social media movements, viral haircutting techniques, viral haircutting challenges, right? You could think about it in marketing, a lot of different applications for this, but I think the one that is, I think, most hits home to me is like, just, am I living, right? It's this last one, just the reflection of how does it relate to my life and in my kind of how enjoyment of it. And so if you enjoyed this, again, drop a comment. What did you think? What was your biggest takeaway from it? Or if you'd like me to do more videos like this. All right, this has been The Viral Theory, an explanation of why things go viral. I hope it was impactful for you. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and I appreciate your support. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.